has been introduced under the Indian Income Tax Act, which is section 194N, and it deals with the TDS on cash withdrawals. This section is effective from 1st July 2020. Let us explore it. The purpose for which this section has been introduced is to curb the cash economy, to encourage digital transaction, to discourage cash transaction. Applicability. This section is applicable on cash withdrawals on the recipient hands. Now, who is the recipient in this case? Let us explore that. The recipient are individual, HUF, partnership firm, LLP, local authority, company, AOP or BOI. The monetary limit set under this section is rupees 1 crore in a financial year, subject to certain exceptions which we'll explore in the later stage of this video. Financial year means from April to March. Deductor. Deductor means person responsible to deduct TDS. Let us see who are the persons responsible. The banking company, the cooperative society engaged in the business of banking, post office responsible for paying any sum from one or more accounts maintained by the recipient with it. So when these person pays money to individual HUF, partnership firm or local authority, company, AOP or BOI, then they are supposed to deduct TDS. Point of deduction. Tax is to be deducted at the time of making the payment in cash to the recipient. When the recipient withdraws certain sum of money at regular intervals, the payer will have to deduct TDS once the total sum withdraws exceeds rupees 1 crore. Let us explore this particular point with an example. If a person withdraws rupees 99 lakhs in the aggregate in a financial year and his next withdrawal is of rupees 1,50,000, then TDS is to be deducted on rupees 50,000. This means the amount with which the threshold limit crosses, on that only TDS would be deducted. So here in this case it is 1 crore 50,000, so TDS would be deducted on this 50,000, not on 1 crore 50,000 total amount. Of TDS. The rate of TDS have been categorized for two types of SSE. They are, in case of recipient who has not filed the return of income for all the 3 assessment years relevant to the 3 previous years, for which the time limit to file return under the section 1391 has expired. So for them, where the cash withdrawal during the previous year exceeds rupees 20 lakhs but does not exceed rupees 1 crore, the TDS rate has been set at 2%. Where the cash withdrawals during the previous year exceeds rupees 1 crore, TDS rate is 5%. Now the other kind of SSE means those recipient who has filed the return of income for all the 3 assessment years relevant to the previous 3 years. For them, where the cash withdrawals during the previous years exceeds rupees 20 lakhs but does not exceed rupees 1 crore, no TDS would be deducted. The rate of TDS is nil. Where the cash withdrawals during the previous year exceeds rupees 1 crore, the rate of TDS has been set at 2% for them. So we can compare that the recipient who or the SSE who has been filing their return of income with the income tax department are at a better position in comparison to those who has not filed their return. Not applicability on. Where any payment is made to the government, any banking company including a cooperative bank, post office, any business correspondent of a banking company including cooperative banks, any white label ATM operator of a banking company or cooperative bank, any other person as notified by the central government in the official gazette. So when the money is paid by those banking institutions or the other institutions which I mentioned before to these recipients, then no TDS would be deducted. Proviso to section 198. This is the beauty of this section. The sum deducted in accordance with the provisions of section 194N shall not be income received for the purpose of computing the income of SSE. This means generally when TDS is deducted, then the amount including the TDS is considered to be the income in the hands of the recipient and is added to his income and tax is computed. But this proviso to section 198 says that for the purpose of this particular section, which is 194N, when TDS is deducted on any amount which exceeds the set threshold limits, then such amounts won't be considered as income in the hands of recipients. Section 206AA. Consequences if the PAN is not submitted by the recipient to the payer. TDS to be deducted at the rate of 20% from Rs 20 lakhs withdrawal onwards. This means if the recipient has not furnished his PAN with the banking institutions and the other institutions which I mentioned before, then in that case the monetary limit has been set at Rs 20 lakhs and the TDS rate for them would be 20%.